Good morning. I'm Rick Cutter with Digital for Utilities, and today I'm in conversation with Jeff Monk of Microsoft. How you doing, Jeff?
Doing great, Rick. Good to be here.
Man, it's a pleasure to have you guys as a partner again this year, and look forward to learning all great things about Microsoft. Right around the corner, we'll be at the summit. Why don't we kick it off, Jeff, with maybe you introducing yourself a little bit to our audience and tell them kind of what you do at Microsoft.
Sure. So, I joined Microsoft several years ago, and I actually came into Microsoft from the energy industry. So I've spent, the last 25 years of my career in the power and utilities industry. And my role at Microsoft is really to serve as a sort of an industry SME / go-to-market leader. So one of the challenges you have in a big technology company is so much expertise in so many different verticals and sub-verticals of those verticals. And so what we've really tried to do is build up some industry expertise in some of those big verticals that we play in. And when we do go to market, we want to, really tailor those messages and even tailor the development of our solutions to fit the needs of what those customers are facing every day. So and this year's a really exciting year because we have some. We've brought on a lot of new talent, some of which you'll meet at the summit. So we're really excited about that and ready to share that message with the customers you have lined up.
Fantastic. Appreciate that. Now, there's always something going on at Microsoft, but can you maybe talk about some new products or services that maybe we've not heard as much about as we should have in the last month since I've seen you?
Yeah, so it's a really interesting time. Last year was a really interesting year for us on a couple of different fronts. One is, in those big industry verticals, we've started to see the need to sort of tailor make our all up approach with those verticals. So what we've done is we've developed what we call our industry clouds. So you'll see different offerings, and for example, healthcare. We have a cloud for healthcare. We have a cloud for retail. We have a cloud for manufacturing. And with manufacturing, there's a lot of symmetry with what we look at in the energy industry. But the most recent one that we've announced is the cloud for sustainability, which really spreads across all of those verticals and sub-verticals because it's such a big topic right now. Microsoft is, it's no secret that we're very passionate about the topic of sustainability, and from everything from looking at it horizontally and how we're actually doing business day to day and helping our customers look at it horizontally, but we're really starting to get into some of the more vertical strategic elements of it. Right. Whether, for the utility space, we're looking in the power generation space and looking at how we can help with some of the carbon offsets by leveraging renewables. We're looking at carbon trading platforms. We're working with a lot of utility companies that are really starting to get their arms around the carbon capture technology, but it's creating new markets in terms of how that will be navigated in the future. So that's really one of the biggest areas. I would say the second area that's been really exciting is really been forced by the economy that we live in. So, we've spent a lot of our time and our efforts with customers transitioning to the cloud, sort of an enterprise level lift and shift from on-premise systems to the cloud. And one of the challenges that you see there is, it's recognized those customers have a hard time over the following years after they adopt the cloud. Where is that value that I thought I was going to get out of this? Where are those applications that are changing things at the operational level that are really delivering ROI on that cloud investment? So the change we've seen is that those high value applications are actually, in a lot of cases, they're coming first, whereas they were probably phase two of a cloud adoption, where you actually start to develop some applications that are meant for a specific part of the business, whether it's thermal efficiency in a power plant, or automation of a segment of grid, or in the case of pipelines, looking at leak detection. So we're seeing those things come ahead of time, and those applications are building that roadmap to a larger enterprise transformation. So, and what that means for Microsoft is that we are really doubling down on our business applications, and the different scenarios that we can bring forward to get to that value quicker, and start to develop that roadmap that makes the case for a larger transformation.
Well, it sounds like y'all are in the middle of this sustainability move that we're in. It is just such a shift going on right now. I'm pretty amazed by it compared to, say, just 3 years ago. So I'm glad to hear Microsoft's in the thick of things. Jeff, I remember last year, Hannah Green from Microsoft was commenting on one of the sessions at the summit that y'all been carbon neutral, I think from 2012 or something. I'm still amazed at that. You want to add to that? Anything you can share about that?
Yeah, so that's always been a big focus of the company, and and that's really accelerated over the last few years with the illumination on the sustainability challenges across the globe, and our leadership has made some big swings, big investments in that, and in how we do things day to day. And in fact, we're actually moving to carbon negative now, which so we're actually looking at those historical emissions that we contributed to prior to being carbon neutral, and we're actually creating offsets to be able to compensate for those historical emissions, and that's through how we're powering our data centers. We're nearly 100% renewable in our data centers. It's the things that we're investing in ecosystems, and actually, delivering some more proactive approaches in water management, and energy consumption and energy management to be able to offset those historical emissions. That's sort of a unique position that Microsoft has taken. It's very aggressive, but it's been very successful. And a lot of the conversations we have with our customers are about our own path, our own journey to that end. So, there's a lot of learnings that we can offer. There's a lot of experiences in areas that we found risk, but we were able to de-risk. So a lot of our customers want to have that conversation with us. So it's something we'll continue to do. It's something that what's really changing or shifting is not how we can do it incrementally better, but it's how can we help others do it now.
Jeff, I remember last year, Hannah Green from Microsoft was talking about ESG and some application software y'all were building for tracking. Just seems like a very timely thing, an important thing with everything going on in that domain right now. Can you maybe share a little bit of an update on what's happened since then with you guys?
Sure. So obviously there's been a lot of changes in the regulatory environment. There are requirements that companies will have to adhere to in recording and reporting their carbon emissions. So we've developed a few different solutions to that end. So we have what's called our carbon calculator, which is on the Microsoft Marketplace, and that's for anyone in any industry to plug in some data and get a good understanding of what the carbon footprint is. Because obviously, understanding where you are today is step number one in making improvements for the future. But secondly, with these new regulatory requirements coming down, larger enterprises really, especially in the energy industry, it's a very significant challenge to get their arms around all of that data, and keeping in mind that the energy industry is not new to sustainability. They've been under this magnifying glass for a long time. That they've been on a continuous improvement path for decades, not just the last few years. And one of the really interesting things that we're seeing is this more proactive approach to emissions reporting, and we're seeing a lot of utilities that are doing voluntary reporting, and they're being more proactive about illuminating their sustainability metrics, because it's a competitive differentiator in the market now. It's not just about responding to the regulatory environment. It's about getting consumers attracted to their offerings because they're more flexible in their energy management offerings. They can tailor solutions for customers who strive to be more sustainable and make their consumers actual stakeholders in this overall environmental sustainability governance movement that's happening right now.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad to have Microsoft doing great things like that to help us all. This whole move to renewable energy sustainability is certainly an important one, and we've got to do something. So I appreciate you guys doing something positive like that. Well, one more question for you. Microsoft's always emerging and adapting to business and does many great things. Anything you want to share about Microsoft's bigger picture, not just utilities, but maybe bigger picture strategy? Anything you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, so sustainability is obviously big, but we're really proud of how we perform as an employer. We've ranked very high in how our employees view working at the company, so that's obviously a great thing. But we don't do any of those. We don't focus on any of those things at the expense of delivering value in those core areas that we still want to focus on. So we're not walking in the door carrying the sustainability flag at the expense of helping optimize supply chains or predict to be able to do more accurate demand forecasting in any market, whether it's retail or energy trading or healthcare and understanding what patients need. We're still focused on the digitization of those businesses. There's still a lot to do. There's a lot of white space out there, some basic blocking and tackling from a digital standpoint. The adoption curve in any industry is always a challenge. So, we really focus on modernizing the employee experience and getting technology in the hands of those folks who are doing the work on the front line. And one of the interesting things, just to tie it back to utilities, that we're seeing is that employee experience is directly impacting that utility's consumer experience. So their ability to get things back online quickly, their ability to make sure that the right tools are on the truck before the truck rolls, to be able to improve that first-time fix rate, or to connect to an expert on an asset that maybe that particular technician doesn't have experience on. These are all the things that contribute to getting things back online faster and helping those utilities to retain those customers for a longer period of time. And finally, I would say one big area for us is obviously the socioeconomic factors that go into any industry. We're very focused on bringing resources, technology, investment to areas that are underserved, that are underinvested, and so we really want to see the entire ship rise with these investments. We're not just looking at the large enterprise type businesses. We're really focused on a broad spectrum, and that's coming out in the way that we look at small and medium sized businesses too. We're working more and more with state and local governments than we ever have before. We're not just looking at the Exxon Mobils and the Duke Energies and the Exelons. While those are all great partners and customers for us, we're also looking at the city of Baltimore, the city of Atlanta, the city of Houston, and making improvements, leveraging technology in those areas as well.
Jeff, I really appreciate your time today chatting and giving us a little preview of what's going on with Microsoft and what we can look for you guys at the summit. Look forward to learning a lot more about what's new at Microsoft here in person and right around the corner. So thank you so much, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. We're really looking forward to being there. We really appreciate you guys engaging with us again. And we've got some great speakers. We've got some great partners that will be there. So really looking forward to the event this year.